Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Halbkast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
Hello, everyone. We're on an episode of STRIKEcast. It's the show where we strike about stuff and things. The show we've always done. I'm your co-host, Tom Ryman.
I'm your other co-host, David Bell.
I'm your very special guest, Justin Brown.
Very special. Justin, thank
welcome
you so
back.
much for being here.
Yep, I'd love to be here.
How you doing?
Good, I'm good. I took a satisfying shower right before this, so
Ooh,
I'm all set.
You smelling fresh? You smelling real fresh?
Yeah, I was pressure washing the driveway for 5 hours before this, so
Ooh,
that shower
what a good
was,
day.
shower was
Solid day.
really good, yeah.
That's wonderful.
You got to play with a hose and then take a shower.
Yeah, and the lance, like the spraying part of the pressure washer, has like a handle on the side, so it feels like a big minigun or something. Like, so it felt like Schwarzenegger. Like every time I had to target one specific little spot.
Yeah, murdering those stains.
Definitely not playing make-believe as I use this pressure washer.
Speaking of, I have
so
a real
good.
problem, by the way.
Yeah.
I just started playing Assassin's Creed Mirage, and Spider-Man is coming in the mail tomorrow.
Yeah.
What do I do about that?
You're going to have to make some choices, Dave.
No, I refuse to make choices. I can love them both at once. I'm like Batman, Val Kilmer Batman. I can save
Right.
them both.
Because you choose to.
Exactly.
And now Jim Carrey's head is all big.
Exactly. What was
It was
that?
too much knowledge, Dave. Too much knowledge overloaded
Is that
his brain.
seriously what happened?
As far as I can tell.
Yeah.
And it inflated. I don't think knowledge works that way.
I mean, are you a knowledge scientist? I don't think so.
No,
Yeah.
Justin.
They employed the finest knowledge scientists to be consultants on that film.
Yeah, Justin, what do you got going on? You have things to plug?
You can just go to my website. I sell art. I make and sell art. My website's Artness by Justin Brown. That's ARTNESS by Justin Brown. I did some of the logos for the Gamefully Unemployed network, so you may know my
Yes,
work
you
without
did.
actually knowing it. So
Check that out, folks.
Including this show.
yeah,
Yeah, get some fucking art.
Yeah.
You love art.
You plebes.
There's a lot
Love
on
art.
there. There's all sorts of stickers and it's not just like framed art. It's all sorts of
But
stuff.
adorn your study with art.
Yeah, you can also do that. I encourage that.
Yeah.
It's good.
And I don't know, put stickers on your car.
Don't
Yeah.
don't
And I'm
don't
like-
don't make your walls be nude all the time.
Yeah.
Decorate them.
I can't abide naked walls, so
Yeah, don't be a wall pervert, you know? What are we doing?
White knuckling as you're walking through a house with bare walls. These motherfuckers.
gritting my teeth. I go, this is nice. Yeah.
It looks real good. Looks real good.
So I wanted
Scream
to
into a
recap.
pillow for 6 minutes when I get home.
I wanted to recap the last STRIKEcast, because we said it was going to be the last, or rather, I said it would probably be the last.
We really
STRIKEcast.
thought it might have been. We thought we
Yeah,
were
and here we
past
are.
this, but nope.
Doing a new STRIKEcast. Wonder why that is. Wonder what happened
Man, it's because rich guys are always going to be evil.
Is this about
It's like that-
baseball? Baseball strikes?
It's that
Yeah.
song that guy sang about welfare. It's because of that.
Oh, that dude?
The Richmond, yeah.
North of Richmond or whatever. I don't want to talk about that dude. Why don't we name some producers, Dave?
But he's so popular and still in the news. Let's thank some producers, starting with at Nerd Numbers. Thank you so much. Thank you to Zero Charisma.
Thank you.
Thank you to Aaron Burser.
Thank you.
Thank you to AJ.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Andrew. How deck the halls with blood.
Thank you. He's let it ride so long that we've already almost come back around to Christmas.
Yeah. Thank you to Asking Seven.
Thank you.
Thank you to Bob Grenville.
Thank you.
Thank you to Bootler Boodleson.
Thank you so much. Let me swoop in here. Thank you to Brian who Tom knows.
Thank you.
Thank you to Brockway loves the meat millie.
Thank
you to Burrito wants you to drink water, hit the gym, and do the ska because they loves y'all.
Oh.
Pick it up, pick it up. Thank you to Chester's Prophet.
Thank you.
Thank you to Christopher Robert Sparks, Esquire.
Thanks.
Thank you to Dan Heckroyd.
Thank you.
Thank you to Davey, the Ghost of East Las Vegas, Francis.
Thanks.
And thank you to David Knife Boot Henson.
Knife Boot.
Within the beat. Knife beat. Multiple boots.
Knife Beat. Sure. Listen, we're still in STRIKEcast. So what kind of trailers are we going to do this week? The answer are more hype trailers.
Hey!
Trailers
Whoops,
that deserve
all
more
hype.
hype. All hype. These are indie films that are coming out that you can check out at some point in your life.
Or not.
Starting with
Whatever you want to do.
or not. Yeah. This is America for now. It's time for Your Lucky Day. That's our first trailer. Your
this
Lucky
is
Day.
the posthumous release of the oh gosh, I don't know. Angus, I forget his name.
Angus
The actor
Cloud.
from Cloud. There it is. Euphoria.
Yeah,
I couldn't grab the name of the show.
Okay, I felt bad about this because I remember the news about him passing, and I saw in the trailers all these RIPs. I don't know who this guy is.
He was on Euphoria. That was his big
Yeah.
break. I think he was just like getting started. And
for the
tragic.
youth.
That's really
He was about to pop.
That's
The
really
youth.
sad. That's really sad because he looks like I mean, this isn't the only reason it's sad, but he looks like very talented in this. This is a trailer. I when I saw this premise, I was like, it was one of those where I was like, fuck, why didn't I write that? Why didn't anybody write that? Why didn't someone write this in the 80s? It's about a winning lottery ticket in a convenience store, and this dirtbag who's down in his luck basically robs the winning lottery ticket and then shoots a few people, and they lock down the convenience store. And it's the robber and like some of the witnesses realizing like, if this all goes away, we can just split it.
Yeah.
And I just think that's a very good premise.
I mean, it's kind of like it's a little bit like a Simple Plan, but yeah.
You're right.
That was the only thing I was saying. I do think it's a really cool premise, and it is nuts that at least no major American release that I'm aware of has done this before.
Right. It just seems like, oh my God, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course that's the premise.
It looks interesting. It looks like it's going to be intolerable to sit I'm just like, you're going to be white knuckling it all the way. It looks like it's going to be like watching Uncut Gems, basically, where you're just going to be sweating the whole time.
Oh yeah, and it's going to be one location, for sure. Right? Like this just it feels that way.
It looks like
it's
it
also,
in the convenience store and like the immediate surroundings. Yeah.
Right. It's also written by and directed by a guy named Dan Brown, so they may or may not find the Holy Grail.
What if he's like running down the alley about to get away from the cops, and like a dumpster lid just pops open like a Jack in the Box, and Tom Hanks swoops out
with that hair,
with the wig,
with that hair, like that lady gliding down the steps in the ninth gate. It's just quietly terrifying in a way you can't really articulate.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Your Lucky Day.
Justin, any other thoughts on this?
They keep saying 156 million is the jackpot. I'm like, come on, guys. After taxes, it's like 78. So like, pump the brakes. It's not that much.
Right.
Which is what I like about it. I've said this before. Actually, I would love a bank robbery or a heist movie that's about like 10K. Like
I'm sure they
where
exist,
it's someone
but
who's
yeah.
like really down in their luck. The idea that it's like, some people that would change their life.
Right.
I remember we talked about that with that really whack, like filmed within his own house movie about like the pool.
Yes,
tournament,
that was what reminded me of it. Yeah,
because they were like, we're playing for $1 million, and I remember that episode. You were like,
Behind
well, it
the
would have
Nine.
been. Behind the Nine, there it is. It would have been better if they were playing for like $20K, because then they're like, oh, these people are really desperate.
I know you could easily have done that movie for $20K, and it would have worked. And it kind of, well.
It casts a new like narrative thread in there. It's like we're really seeing how the desperation that the living life forces people
especially with like a heist. It's like I don't have money to spend on equipment and stuff, so I have to wait like years to figure out how to do it. So it's like I put in time, not investing money, but
it's about like just figuring out the right time, or that's a good aspect of that for sure.
And also, I like that this one, it's clearly just like a spur, like he just happens to be in the convenience store, and then the guy is like, oh shit, I won. He's like, well, fuck it, I'm stealing this guy's ticket.
Although obviously you're supposed to follow him to the car, then take it. Don't shoot him inside the convenience store where there's cameras.
Absolutely. Very, very amateur shit.
Excellent crime tips.
Yeah.
Thank you, Justin.
Write that down, everybody.
No, that's real basic shit. Just follow him outside. Don't do it. There's cameras inside.
Second location. Stupid.
It's now that you mention it. Yeah, this guy, man, amateur shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this
Bush
next
League.
one.
Yeah, let's talk about the next one.
This is called How to Have Sex.
It's Irish, I want to say.
Yeah, this got a little bit of buzz. I'd been seeing it around. It is so like everything I had seen the teaser. There was a teaser for it. I don't know why there was a teaser for this.
It's a weird movie to have a teaser for, but sure.
Right,
everything's got a teaser now.
The teaser was just like teen girls hanging out, and I was like, good for them. And now when you watch this trailer, it's like it's clear that there's a little more. It seems actually darker, and it seems like things happen in it. But it's always like a hard sell to be like, this is about teens partying. And I'm like, if you're not a teen, that's real lame. Yeah. It's teens are insufferable. But then you watch like, Dazed and Confused, and you're like, it can happen.
Yeah, well, watching this, I felt like this was kind of like maybe not the reason it was created, but the reason it got greenlit was because of Euphoria, because it kind of looks like it would fit in with,
that's true, yeah,
with that world. So maybe it's just playing on, trying to get that audience in there. But I don't know.
Yeah, it also just looks very well made.
Yeah.
The director and writer Molly Manning Walker hasn't done much, but when I saw this trailer, I like looked her up just specifically because I was like, I bet I'm going to learn this name more and more. Like I have a feeling this is going to be someone who, they're mostly a cinematographer. And I just have a feeling they're going to keep making shit that's going to be quite good, and we're going to see more
a
and
lot
more
of the
them,
shots in the trailer were really cool.
Yeah, that's the same thing
I'm just
thought.
getting that vibe. Yeah, this gives me like early movie vibe for someone that's going to become like a hit, but it. I mean that really is what it's about.
It really
British teen girls go on holiday, as they call it. And they go drinking and
Weird
clubbing.
Brits calling things that they're not called.
Yep. And one of the characters is a virgin. And so one assumes, hence the title, it's going to be about them trying to get laid.
Sure.
And maybe one of them will fuck a pie. We never know.
Oh, man, let's hope so.
I'm glad you made me watch this trailer, because now all my YouTube recommendations are going to be based on the title of this. And I'm like, I don't need this algorithm, guys.
Go quickly delete your history.
It's the Google of a fucking 11-year-old. That's great. But yeah, I don't know. It's funny because I don't have much to say about this because it's not giving us much other than I bet it's going to be really good. And like a really like it's more that the trailer isn't telling us that much. So
just that they're having a rager, and then the next morning, one of them seems to be missing. That is about the extent of what happens, quote unquote, in the trailer.
Right.
But yeah, it looks good. It looks well assembled at the very least.
Yeah, that's what I said. It looks like people made choices, which is like, that's all I can really ask is to get the sense that people cared about it.
You see something where there's like clear intent. You're like, oh, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
It's like the bar is so low. Oh, you did this on purpose. Thank God.
I would say, and this isn't a hit against the next trailer, but this next trailer is like the opposite of this.
Oh yeah.
In that I feel like I know the whole movie, and that again, not a critique. That doesn't mean it's a bad movie. This is Ghosts of the Void. It's about a woman and I think
her
a
partner.
man.
Yeah.
All right. Spending a night in a homeless encampment, sleeping in their car, like it's their first night without anywhere to be, and then these like freaks with masks show up to kill them, and they do the trailer where she's like, "I've lost everything. I have nothing more to give you." It's just very clearly about, being
the fact that the main ghoul is wearing a mask that evokes the Statue of Liberty too.
Yeah. It's just
pretty blatant.
very clearly about capitalism, and it's not. Don't get me wrong. I'm watching. I'm like, yeah, no. I agree.
Yeah, fuck
but
that
like,
statue.
I'm not entirely like. This isn't my genre too.
Like
that's
the
why
Strangers, you mean? Like that sort of home invasion or like really protracted stalking. I mean,
yes.
I don't.
That's why I love the movies that subvert it, like You're Next, which is why it took me so long to see You're Next. Know, because you think like, oh, that's just one of those again,
right?
But it's not. And this gives me, The Purge is another one where it's like it looks like, oh yeah, I got it, but then you watch it and you're like, oh, this isn't what I thought it would be at all. So like.
Yeah, maybe.
It's tough because this movie could be anything, but there is that genre where it's like when they just do it, I'm just very bored by it.
Yeah, the Strangers type home invasion genre is a little predictable, but I don't know. We'll see.
My thought was like,
go ahead.
Whenever I see one of these movies, I'm just like, especially in this woman's case, because they're going through enough, losing their home and everything. But it's like I would just be so annoyed if someone kept stalking me. Like I wouldn't be scared after a certain point. I'd be like, "Can we not do this right now?" Because like I just lost my home.
Yeah, I got other shit.
It's just at some point you just stop and turn around. Fuck off! Seriously, like, can we pick this up tomorrow or something? Like Jesus.
Like
I mean, she could just hit him with her car.
Like obviously, I'm not in a great spot right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think with this genre, what it comes down to is like we've used all the masks. Does that make sense?
I think that's definitely part of it. What I was gonna say is I like that it's from the perspective of people in a homeless encampment.
Absolutely,
we don't usually see that. It's normally like
a
homeless person will be like a victim in one of these movies, but it's rarely from an unhoused person's perspective.
Or if it's The Exorcist beginning. They're a weird creep for some reason.
Whatever. I don't need to resurrect that movie.
But like, it's true as like, it's both. It feels a little exploitative, but it's true that this is a person in society who it's like it's easy to write a horror movie around because they have no resources, and it makes it scarier. And you can say a lot. This one, it's just for me like, this basic genre is like very played out for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That's
seriously, is there a mask that someone can think up that would make any of you guys go like, "Wow, that's new"?
I think I just groan at like Justin was saying. It's like we've had so many years now of edgelord dipshits on the internet that I think I would just like. There's no combination of mask. Like if the dudes from the Purge. That first Purge showed up, and you know how their like leader is like waxing all eloquently on the door. Like I would be so irritated with these fucking edgelord freaks.
I'd assume they're teenagers and I'd tase them, and then that would be that.
It's like, get out of my face with your fucking Slipknot mask.
And it's like, I get it. I get it. Your mask is smiling, but you're scary. I've never seen that before ever.
Yeah.
Like it's just
The only thing that could scare me would be like if it was like a beautiful. I mean, I wouldn't know it was a puppet, but if it looked like a next level movie effect monster thing that was just like uncanny in some way, but no mask.
Oh yeah, because then you just think it was a monster.
Yeah,
right. Oh shit.
Or I think I'm gonna meet Frank Oz because he's puppeting it. He's gonna come around the corner. But
it's Frank Oz is lurking in this alley.
I want to talk about this next trailer.
Let's do it.
If we're so ready. This is Fallen Leaves. This is out of a country, right? This is like
Russia or Poland or
the director is Finnish, and I looked that up. I had to look that up. But go ahead, Dave. I have something to tell you about the director once we establish what this trailer is.
Yeah, it's about a guy who gets a woman's number and then loses it and loses her name, and that's all we know. It's a very simple romance movie that's very quirky. It's very quirky, and it was one of those things that made me realize, like, I don't think it's copying Wes Anderson. I think it's copying whatever Wes Anderson copied.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, there's been I remember these types of movies from, like,
Amelie.
I was about to say Amelie, these, like, movies that are sort of like, I don't know, we covered last night, like the 90s kind of, I feel like Naked, I only saw Naked once, but feels like it's one of those, although that one's way more dark from what I recall, where it's sort of like a little meandering, but not in a way that's boring.
Right.
It's kind of like a slice of life. Like, hey, this is just like a moment in a person's life. There's the stakes aren't super high. There's not really like a traditional act structure because it's just kind of about following these people through their lives.
Right. And what I mean about the Wes Anderson of it all isn't actually how it looks. It's how they're acting. It's the deadpan comedy where
the
everybody is.
Yeah.
And I think, again, I feel like Jim Jarmusch did that too before Wes Anderson a bit. Like, there's other people. He doesn't own it. It's just funny seeing this and immediately picturing Wes Anderson and then realizing, like, no, he didn't originate it. He just is the loudest person doing it.
Yes. Yeah. So the director, because when in the notes when you mentioned Wes Anderson, I was like, I wonder if this guy is like a contemporary of his or what. So the guy is 65 years old who made this.
Okay.
And from Finland, and I don't know his name, but he's been around since the early 80s. He named his production company as a reference to Godard. So he's obviously influenced by the same stuff that Wes Anderson is. And then he and his brother are both directors. And this fact was on IMDb, which is insane if it's true. I assume it is. But he and his brother have been responsible for 1/5 of the total output of the Finnish film industry since the early 80s.
Holy shit.
Good for them. Well, all that says is that there's not that many Finnish films being made.
Yeah, I know. It's just funny that they're cranking them out, though.
Yeah. His style, apparently, all of the features of it are very like adjacent to Wes Anderson things. So you're very true. They came from the same school, essentially, even though he's a few years older than Wes Anderson. But
that school to me it's the school of people who make good movies. Like, this looks good, who are also insufferable to have lunch with, I imagine. That's what I'm picturing.
It's a big group.
It's like, like, this looks like a good movie. It really does. I don't want to hear this director talk about it.
I feel like it would be awful to sit here and listen to you talk about it.
Yeah. Your good movie, which again, very good movie. I hope I get to catch this one. It's hard to sit down and watch a movie like this.
And it's so gentle. It makes such a gentle impression. It does look very sweet, and I would certainly watch this. The danger is I'm going to forget about it.
This is one that, like, someone's would have to pay us to watch it, and then we watch it and go, "Oh, that was good."
That's like really
I never would have watched it. Yeah, too many movies.
I know. Unlike this next one, which I'll probably end up watching too soon.
This is Hayride to Hell. Oh man,
Sure.
All right. So I don't think
this
is
trailer.
this is gonna offend. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Sorry. You clearly had a thought.
Well, I don't think I hope this isn't offensive to him, but I don't think Kane Hodder was ever meant to be like doing lines in a movie. Does that make sense? Like, he was famous for being quiet behind a mask, and I'm like, yeah, that's when he's best, right?
Yeah, he's a
probably.
stuntman. He's kick-ass as a stuntman, but not everyone can do both. Because this is
Bill Moseley. Yeah, this is Bill Moseley and Kane Hodder. Bill Moseley, who's legitimate, a very good actor, who I don't think gets cast in like big things nearly enough.
Mm-hmm.
This
personally.
Trailer is so nuts to me because it plays almost like a Happy Madison movie trailer. Like, it seems like the basic story is Bill Moseley is this crackpot and the local crackpot. Everybody's sick of him, but he owns all the land. But they want him to give up his farm, and he's not going to do it. They're pressuring him to do it. They're going to just take it from him using whatever legal recourse that the city can do that. And he's like, well, what if I put on a hayride, and if I scare you, I get to keep the land. If not, I'll sell it to you. And they're like, yeah, that sounds good. But like, the whole trailer is filmed like you could picture David Spade playing this character, and he's going to put on like a haunted hayride to save his farm.
I said this when we talked about Prisoners of Ghostland. Any Bill Moseley role could be done by Will Forte. It would be a comedic role. Like, he is just like the horror Will Forte. That's all he is.
He kind of is, yeah.
Yeah. And he's, I mean, I love him. He's done some killer performances.
For listeners who might not know who Bill Moseley is, he's Otis Driftwood from Devil's Rejects, the Rob Zombie movies. He's a big horror guy.
Like the best thing about that movie. He's so fucking good in that. He's also he's Chop Top.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. He's been a horror icon. He's like fucking what's her name, Barbara Crampton, right? Like he's been working since the 80s. He is. That's what I mean. Is like he's known for like cheesy B-movie horror, but then like you watch Devil's Rejects and you're like, he can act, huh? Like, and it's weird that like he doesn't like he stays to it or he's kept there. But he doesn't do much else. I said in the comments, like, it's weird he hasn't played Charles Manson.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
He's just Charles Manson in a lot of things.
Most of the time, he is merely cast to play Charles Manson.
Yeah. This movie looks dumb.
Oh, it looks dumb as hell, but like, it's... I mean,
wish
obviously he's going to murder all these people at his hayride, but sorry, Jason.
I wish it was funnier looking. I don't know what they're ultimately going for, but like that was... Once like the trailer kind of turned, I was like, I thought it was going to be more funny once it made the turn, but
yes,
and maybe the actual movie is like better at being funny, but the trailer just kind of, I don't know, didn't.
It does go pretty limp, and then like it looks super cheap.
Yeah,
like the gore doesn't, they clearly are making this with a bunch of buddies on a shoestring budget.
Yeah, it's from that genre that's so hard for me, which is. We know we're being funny, but then we're not being funny enough.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what
so
I was
it's
thinking,
like, either do it seriously and let us laugh at you, or be very, very funny. But you can't just be like dad jokes, You can't just be like a little funny about it. You need to be legit funny then. So like, I do feel like they should have gone completely serious with this. I think that would have been the better angle. But,
I agree.
They'll do it again next time. Let's talk about this next one.
Sure.
This is one of those ones where I'm like, once you think up the name, you kind of have to make this movie. It's a Wonderful Knife.
Sure.
Yeah, I wrote it in notes. I've had it up to here a little bit. Up here. You guys see where I'm signaling.
I can see it, yeah. It's a
So
visual
it's a
medium.
writer-
so far up.
It's the director of Tragedy Girls, which is very good if you guys haven't seen it. I like Tragedy Girls. And they did the Medusa segment of VHS.
That was fun.
Yeah. Like this person's going places, this person makes stuff I like. But it's the writer of Freaky, and it's very clear now that they're just cranking out the exact same thing every time. Which is they're literally going
very similar to Freaky.
Yeah, they just go online, they find an old comedy, and they go, what if that was horror? And then, of course...
Well, It's a Wonderful
Happy
Life
Death
is not
Day.
a comedy, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Happy Death Day is the other one where it's like, okay, I get it. You did it. You've done it like 3 times now. I don't need it anymore.
But Happy Death Day made crazy money, I think, is the real reason they keep trying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they keep... Yeah, and these feel like...
And it's the best. It's the best
like,
of the ones that we've discussed, I think.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good.
These feel like Sharknado knockoffs to me now, where it's like they're just grabbing things out of a hat. But they somehow have a bigger production value. Yeah, so it's a woman who saved the town from a killer, and then the next year she wishes she'd never been born.
Yeah.
And it's really that's such a sweaty premise.
It's
too.
extremely sweaty.
And it doesn't. It
It's like
feels
it starts with a
shoehorned.
different movie where it's like there's a serial murderer who is a bronzo sprayed Justin Long with veneers. He looks very.
Yeah.
That's what I did want to say that about this trailer is that he looks very funny.
Yes, but it's like 20 hats on hats. But then so he's the killer, and then she wakes up in a universe where she wasn't born, and things would get worse. Obviously, because the killer's on the loose. Here's the thing about A Wonderful Life. Correct me if I'm wrong. I already called it a comedy, so clearly I haven't watched it in a while. But the plot of that movie is the guy saying, "I wish I was never born. I'm going to kill myself." And then like a phantom, like Satan or whoever,
the
shows
devil,
up,
a demon,
and says like, "Actually, here's all the things that would have been different, and it's really good that you exist." Right?
Yes.
That's the point.
Yes.
And it's surprising is the idea.
Well,
It's
the idea is that you
oh,
don't.
I never realized that
you
this
can't
stuff.
see all the connections, and when they're laid out, you realize, oh, I actually like. He realizes he actually connects to like hundreds of people's lives.
Right. It doesn't work if you have just saved a bunch of people from a murderer the year before. And they're like, actually, that murderer would have been on the loose. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah, we know.
I know. Yeah, no shit. Like, that's not the point of a One for Life. It's like, oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Right. The murderer should show up because she wasn't born. Like that. Like it shouldn't. I know that's technically what it's doing, but I'm saying, like, it feels like it would be a better. We're judging it just on the trailer and what the kind of movie the trailer is promising, obviously. But it feels like it would have been a better idea to just have her be in a situation like It's a Wonderful Life, where she's just despairs. Like, oh, I'm just going to kill myself. I might as well never been born. And it's like, well, actually, if you were never born, this shit would happen. And one of the things that happens is that the town is now besieged by this serial killer. In addition to all the other weird things, maybe that's happened because she wasn't born. You're right. It's like it's so sweaty.
It's slapdash. It feels like a studio was like, give us more of those. They like those. And they just cranked one out without really thinking about it too hard.
Yeah. Right, like that feels like something you would have thought of in a second draft.
Yeah.
Like, why do we need this prologue? Why couldn't the killer just be But of course, then it eliminates the dramatic irony that the trailer is teasing, where she knows Justin Long is the murderer. He's the mayor of the town. So she has to keep dealing with him showing up and being this cheeseball mayor, knowing he's the killer. So you'd lose that element of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
unless he's not the killer in the alternate version, but
exactly, that's probably what they would do.
Yeah, my favorite part of this trailer was after they do the quick showing of her killing the serial killer after her friends got killed and everything. It's like the next year at Christmas, Joel McHale's like, just get over it. Like, it's been 1 year and it's the most incredible thing that's ever happened, and you want me to just get over it?
It's real fucking weird. Yeah, I talked about, we reviewed Freaky. I also thought that was a great premise that they sort of blew, because these aren't really like horror movies, you know?
Well, Freaky wasn't, but it certainly seems like this is going to be the same tone, yeah.
And I think they're going for like this sort of like, it's funny, but it's not like funny enough. Like, it's for tweens, you know what I mean? Where it's like, it's not really going for scary, but for me, it's also not funny enough. So it's just like, well, you're not scary and you're not funny, and you're doing a premise that has been done before. So I don't get much from it.
And to your point, if it's for tweens, they probably aren't heavily scrutinizing how much they thematically resemble It's a Wonderful Life. Like your point, they're like, nobody's going to care who's going to see this. So
yeah, it's kind of low hanging fruit for that reason.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
let's move on.
All right. Again, I want to say I still really like Tragedy Girls, and so this is like a good director. And I wish them continued success.
Oh,
because I also did like that VHS one they did.
Yeah, the Medusa segment was fun. Also, we didn't call out that William B. Davis is in this, the cigarette smoking man.
Oh yeah, cigarette smoking man. And I want nothing. He feels like he should be older than he is. He is. I don't know how old he is. I guess it's all that water skiing
he looks crazy
he does.
old. Yeah.
Yeah, but he does. I hope he still water skis.
I hope so too, man. Maybe he does. It's what's keeping him so virile, so fit.
He's looked 50 for the last 30 years.
Yeah, he's got a real Tommy Lee Jones thing going on.
Yeah, he does. But good for him. I'm glad he's
there. They're both conquistadors that found the Fountain of Youth.
Yeah.
They're just hundreds of years old.
It's the Fountain of like youth-ish.
Right. It's however old you were when you touched it. Oh, right.
Yeah. And they're like, shucks. All right. I guess I'm just playing this one role for the rest of my life. This last trailer is called Lion Girl.
It sure is,
Lion
Dave.
Girl. Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about it?
Oh man, what is there to say? It's
This trailer, just the trailer is bonkers.
Yeah, I considered this for the more hype, but we had just done a similar idea because it's sort of that. It's like 70s martial arts, like where it looks, but it's more than that. Like it's a way more unhinged than simply like Kung Fury again, which is like the thing we always bring up, where it looks like it's fighting demons or something.
Meteor people and docs or whatever. They explained all of this in the trailer.
That's
quite
true.
exhaustively.
It's a good lore dump in the trailer, which you always look for.
It looks like a lot of fun.
It does. It looks like a mix between something like Tokyo Gore Police, but not violent like that was. Although it does look like there's some gore in this, and like Power Rangers. Honestly, like that's what it looks like.
It does. It was filmed entirely in LA during the lockdown, which I think is funny. It's from a director who he worked on Shudder. I haven't seen anything he directed. Maniac Driver he did. Karate Kill. So he does these. He's an old hand at this. And so it just, I don't know, this looks pretty fucking boss.
Yeah, they reference two other movies, like they say from the director or from the producer, but I didn't recognize either of the names. But I assume he has a following then, or his style at least fits into
the
something
synopsis
popular.
says it takes place in the year 20XX.
Hell yeah.
Which I'm like, hell yeah. Mysterious meteors bombard the Earth and usher in an age of horrific beasts known as Anoroks, hunting and killing humans for their life force. The Earth has one last defender against them. Her name is Lion Girl. And like the demons look fucking gnarly. It looks really like they look like some Darth Maul looking motherfuckers, you know?
Yeah.
It looks fucking terrific.
Yeah, it was another one where I was like, they made a choice here, so I have to respect the choices.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this is a great choice.
It's pretty fun. It's not one that you usually see, at least one that I usually see. So I'm definitely interested in this lion girl.
Yeah, I like this. It's really funny because again, like Kung Fury did this thing, and so did
Kung Fury is different though. Like it's way more
Grindhouse, where
I would put this closer to Grindhouse, but yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. Is the idea of ironic throwback is really hard to. Like, it can be really lifeless if it's done wrong. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
it feels very artificial. Yeah.
I think the mistake that Kung Fury makes, one of them, is that it did it all like Sky Captain, right? Whereas this one is like they're actually wearing these goofy Power Rangers costumes. They're actually rolling around in the desert and kicking each other and stuff. Whereas Kung Fury is all on like green screen and has like Tyrannosaurs and Vikings and stuff. And it's real. It's so divorced from, it just looks like you're playing a video game, basically.
That's a huge part of it. Yeah. And it's hard because like even Planet Terror, which is great, still like you every now and then they resort to CGI and you're like, come on, Rodriguez, you know the assignment. You like, at least it's not fucking, I mean, again, I like Death Proof, but Tarantino just forgets the assignment like halfway through that movie.
Yeah.
He sort of bails on it. Yeah,
he does. And it's like, it's fine. He thought of a really good movie, but yeah, that's what I mean, where it's like, you have to be committed. And like, I feel like exactly what you said, like practical effects is a big part of it.
Yeah, costumes and effects. It's like that took at least a couple of days.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And
for this
even when it looks cheesy like this, there's just something about it something about having it be in the real physical space helps it from being as flat as like Kung Fury came across.
It also just has to be a good story.
Yeah.
And like that's, again, Kung Fury was a short, but it's not like you care about what's happening. It's just all memes.
Yeah.
Where like stuff like Turbo Kid, like I enjoyed Turbo Kid also just as a little adventure and stuff like that. Like when, you have to also have a good movie in there where you're telling an actual story.
Sure, that helps.
It really helps.
But yeah, this really appeals. Like one of my favorite things is really, I want to say bad, but really like low res cosplay. Like where people are like, I want to dress up, but all I have is some cardboard and tape and I have a half hour. Like It's like,
Yeah.
Right.
sometimes that's just as like impressive. It's like, wow, you threw this together. They don't want to say it to their face, but you took trash and made it look pretty interesting, even if
I
it's
have
not
been
technically
dying.
very, nice.
Yeah, for the last 20 years, I've wanted someone to make a reality show where they take people like Scorsese and Spielberg and be like, you have $30, make a short film. And I just want to see what they can do. I want to see, like, just like taking away all their resources and
That would
seeing if
be
they
a
can put
really
together.
fun show that could never possibly exist, but boy, would I love to see it.
It would be so fun.
It'd be fun. Maybe
It
we
doesn't
can
have to be Scorsese and Spielberg. That's just my
well,
dream.
maybe we can
choices.
use their digital selves in the metaverse once they pass.
That's
we can just
true.
use their AI homunculuses and put them in the show.
All right, make it happen. Greenlight it.
Yep.
Should we thank some more producers? We're done with
We
trailers.
should, yes.
Big old sloppy thank you to Deborah is awesome, Barbara is great, and cancer can go to hell. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to Dracula, the bus driving vampire.
Thank you.
Thank you to Driftless says, long live the new flesh.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to E.T., the extravagant terrestrial. Thank you to Exploding Runes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Funky J, mostly comes out at night. Mostly.
Thank you.
Thank you to Heathcliff's Helping Handfuls.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to ImpossibleWorlds.net. Issue 3 is out now. Gorge yourself on our fiction. Gorge.
Thank you.
Thank you to Chris Shanovich.
Thank
you. Thank you to Look Mom, I'm on a podcast. Thank you.
All right, let me swoop in here. Thank you to Mabel. Step on me. Step on me.
on me.
Thank you to Mackenzie. Fuck shuffling with Willem Dafoe's confusingly large dick. Chill.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mercurial Oz.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mike the Lurker.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mongolian Throat Skanking.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mr. Tell Your Wife how many Patreon subscriptions you have before you agree to buy a house.
Thank you.
Thank you to musical guest Rob Ritchie.
Thank you.
Thank you to No One Can Hear You Scream in Space McNulty.
Thank you.
Thank you to Norm from Cheers.
Thank you.
And thank you to Pete for Pagel.
Thank you. So, only one bit of news
Stories.
real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah, so the strike's still happening, huh?
it is.
The SAG
it
strike.
is.
to
We
be-
really thought it would be over. We thought, hey, it was a tough negotiation, but the WGA got them to make some pretty great historic concessions. Surely SAG-AFTRA should just be able to go in there and be like, hey, we would also like an equitable deal, and the studios would be like, all right.
I
But
realized
no,
what,
they're starting all over again.
yeah, and I realized why. I at least this is my theory why.
What's your theory?
Writers, they realized absolutely can't be replaced. Like, that's what they realized, right? Is that
Yes.
AI can't replace writers. They just can't, and it won't anytime soon. But it's not like CGI isn't close.
True.
It's not like we've already shoved a rubber Nicolas Cage in the Flash movie. It's not like we haven't been doing that for decades now. You know, we had Marlon. I don't know why I'm choosing DC. We had Marlon Brando in Superman Returns.
I mentioned
so, like,
Sky Captain earlier. Fucking Laurence Olivier is in that.
Yeah. So for them, that's actually really doable to take actors and replace them with digital. It doesn't
Well,
have to be, quote, AI.
They
It could be
think it's
digital
more
scenes.
doable.
What I mean is more
yeah.
technologically
Yeah,
doable.
for sure.
You can make a photorealistic fucking Peter Cushing and stuff. So like they know that it works. They can even get a sound alike if AI doesn't work. But
That's still
now
a performer though that they'll have to pay. So it's
Well, I was about to
also
say these
AI
days you
sound-alike
can
stuff, so.
you can do AI sound alikes now.
Yeah.
They're doing that with James Earl Jones. He sold the voice of Vader. So like,
I'm fine with that because he sold it.
oh no, don't
he
get me
was
wrong,
like,
I'm
take
fine with that.
my voice.
Although it's been pointed out to me is that does take money from a sound alike by doing that, right?
Yeah.
Is
yeah,
like,
that does. But I mean,
but that is on paper the most ethical version, like legally, of doing it. But this is all to say they know now. Oh yeah, you could be replaced. In theory, technologically speaking, not in terms of what people accept, but they don't have any, idea what people actually want.
yeah. So
like-
I think you're probably right that that's what's re-emboldened them, and they're probably going to go through all the same bullshit all over again until they've gotten their asses kicked so hard they're just going to make the same concessions. So
Well,
Yeah,
you also would
I'm also
think
seeing-
maybe because like the production process, they can obviously they could start shooting stuff, but since they took 5 months for the writers to get back to work, now they can be like, well, we can wait 5 months, and then the actors or whatever the timeline is, where it's like we're already behind anyway, so might as well.
Right, we might as well do this while we're writing the scripts. We can try to squeeze them some more.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there's also stuff where
really
like
they suck. It's a bad thing. I don't want to say. I was like,
they really
the play
suck.
is this, but yeah, it's a shitty thing.
And then
Yeah.
a lot of A-list celebrities seem to be like pressuring SAG now, which is the wrong people to pressure, I would argue, to end the strike.
Yeah,
And I wonder if it's another one of those cases where, like, I hate to say this, it might end up just being rich people versus poor people, because like the rich people at a certain point are going to be like, yeah, let's get back to work. And the poor people will be like, they're replacing us with CGI. Right. And the Rock's going to be like, well, they're not replacing me. So I don't mean to come down on the Rock because he can probably beat me up. Probably. We'll see. But you get what I'm saying, which is like, if you're a big celebrity, it won't affect you ultimately. And so there might become a point where celebrities might lose sight of why this is happening.
Yeah.
Because for them, it's like, who cares if they CGI background actors? Yeah. And it's like, well, there are people who make their living doing that. So I don't know. I don't know if there'll be that much of that because, look what happened to Drew Barrymore. That was amazing.
And her first episode back, if you watch clips of it, she did it in like Shania Twain's. It's like surreal.
I don't think that show will exist pretty soon.
It was surreal. Watching her try to do that show without writers.
Yeah, making a real bold prediction and saying that show will not be around. But yeah, point is come on, guys. Come on, studios. It probably is what you're saying, which is like they got a little more time before they have to shoot. They might as well use that time. But like the fact that the deal, apparently they've reverted to like even shittier deals.
I know, yeah.
Like they're really feeling themselves here.
Yeah.
They're really trying to like feel out how much bullshit they can get away with.
Yeah. So yeah, fuck them.
Yep.
We'll keep doing this until they get their shit together. Yep. And then we're going to have a Hypecast where like there's going to be movies that are coming out in theaters that we're like, I didn't know this movie existed. But that's all right.
That's the price you pay, Dave.
Yeah.
For
and the
solidarity.
studios are sweating about this podcast.
They are. Bob Iger made a comment about us the other day, actually.
He calls me every day.
Yep.
Any other thoughts on this?
No, I think I'm good.
No, yeah.
Everybody got their stuff out.
Yeah, we're all on the fuck them side of things. So.
Yeah. All right. Let's thank some more producers then.
Yeah, let's do it.
Big ol' thank you to Numenel Ultramicroscopic Silicol Volcano Coniosis Anti-Disestablishmentarianism Jones. Thank you. Thank you to pre-order TikTok superstar Jason Pargin's new book, Zoe is Too Drunk for This Dystopia. Pre-orders are super important.
Thank you.
Thank you to Pumpkinhead.
Thank you.
Thank you to RevMD.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Ricky Cilantro.
Thank you.
Thank you to Rosemary's Baby from Eraserhead.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Screaming Horse Pyramid.
It's a weird thing to do to horses.
Or heroin. Maybe it's heroin.
That's true.
Yeah. Thank you to Sorry Cop, world's most laughable centrist.
Thank you.
Thank you to Steven.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to the Autopsy of J. Crow. Thank you to the conveniently placed self-destruct button on the top of every baby's head. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let me swoop in here. Thank you to the Midnight Patron Patrons at Midnight.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Oatmeal Savage.
Thank you.
Thank you to the producer formerly known as the Ghost of Dave Thomas.
Thank you.
Thank you to the To Be Terror Bunny says support workers, egg David Zaslav.
Thank you.
Thank you to these 7 Bs.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tiger Drawers Pratt Thompson. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tip Drizzle.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tux.
Thank you.
Thank you to Vincent.
Thank you.
Thank you to Why Don't You Take a Flying Fuck at the Moon.
Thank you.
Thank you to Your Mom.
Thank you.
And thank you to Zzz, because Pie Guy liked being last.
Thank you very much.
Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Dave. We've come to the end of things.
Yeah.
And I would like to know,
Yeah.
nay, demand to know, whether you have one final movie that
Yeah.
deserves more hype.
Yeah, I do.
Great! That's great
Yeah.
news, Dave.
Yeah.
We should let Bob Iger know.
Yeah, we should. Okay. Sometimes a movie comes around with a hilarious name. And this is one of those. This is a horror movie, and it's simply called The Elderly.
Sweet, I'm in. I don't need to see anything.
I know. This is coming out on VOD and like Blu-ray and
Even
crap
better news!
on October 31st. Halloween.
Man, they just keep coming. The hits keep coming.
Oh, yeah. This has very good reviews. It's only got 11 reviews, but it's at 100%. But also, just to be thorough about the way Rotten Tomatoes work, those individual reviews are all in the like the B+ to 4.5 out of 5 stars. Like, it's all higher reviews. It's not mid reviews. Does that make sense? So it's 100% reviews that are all like high reviews, not just mid. And you watch the trailer, you can tell it's going to be fucked up. It's a heat wave. This is out of Spain. This is a Spanish film, right?
Yes.
There's a heat wave, and a guy's elderly neighbor, I believe, commits suicide, and then all of the elderly just start acting really fucking weird. They have violent outbursts, but also they seem to like be able to predict things or know things that people don't. It's been described as a cross between Body Snatchers and The Taking of Deborah Logan, if that gives you an idea. It's not a slow burn, but it really ramps up in the second half, according to the reviews. It's like gets real fucking crazy. It's real creepy. The trailer has some real creepy old people smiling, covered in blood, while over a cradle. I'm pretty sure I saw that in this trailer. But I just wanted to note, one of the reviews pointed out that they don't use the fact that they're old purely to be scary, if that makes sense.
It does,
was one of the
yeah.
things,
I was reading that too.
They were talking about a lot of horror movies use elder nudity for shock value.
Ari Aster.
Ari Aster did. Kubrick did.
Both of his films too. Yeah, Kubrick does it. It's a common thing. Yeah,
it's a common thing, and you realize like over time, you're like, yeah, that is real, like easy, isn't it? And this movie specifically apparently does have nudity in it, but it's not used for like horror value. It's not like, oh, old people, they're so gross. Like, that's not the point of the movie. It's just a lot of older actors getting to play fucking maniacs, which they must enjoy that, right? Because it's like,
oh, sure. I
thank you.
imagine
I played a grandma in the last 3 roles. This is nice.
Yeah, I imagine it's probably a little bit fun for anyone to cut loose in like a zombie movie like this or something.
Absolutely. But yeah, this just looks. What did you guys think of this trailer?
It looks okay. Like I like the premise of like some unidentifiable contagion.
Right.
I did laugh a little bit when it showed the temperature of the heat wave at the beginning because it was like 103 Fahrenheit. I was like, man,
Oh yeah, that's cute.
this
Yeah.
past
That's cute.
summer.
First time.
Yeah, first time.
That is a very good point. That is a very like wishful thinking heat wave.
Yeah.
But like
yeah,
it
looks like it's probably going to be, I don't know. I'm intrigued. It looks intense.
It apparently has a little bit of climate change in what it's about, but I don't think it's like. It doesn't sound like it's bonking you on the head with that. But yeah, I'm very intrigued by it because again, it's gotten nothing but good reviews.
Sweet.
And it just looks. I don't know. I think it looks really well shot and really weird.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Not fisheye, but like in a way that is really close and claustrophobic and uncomfortable and like oppressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a plague. It's like shot like a plague film. So
yeah, and I'm now curious because it being compared to Body Snatchers, I'm like, are they Body Snatchers?
Don't know.
Like, is that
maybe?
Yeah. What is happening to the elderly?
I don't know.
We have to find out. Gotta watch the elderly.
The elderly on Halloween.
On Halloween.
I probably will.
Yeah, it might not be. I don't know. I'm looking at. I don't know how good IMDb reviews are, but IMDb has it as more mid, review wise. I think it's played a few festivals, so like people have seen it.
Sweet.
But I don't know. I want to see it.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Folks, we've done it. That's a sode.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
Woo, woo, woo.
Woo! Justin, thank you so much for being on the show, man.
Yeah, I'm always glad to do it.
Are there any pluggies you need to hit again?
Yeah.
Anything else
My
you want to let
website,
people know?
again, I'll mention that. It's Artness by Justin Brown, ARTNESS by JustinBrown.com. And if you want to buy anything in person, I actually have one more convention I'm doing this year in December, the 1st through the 3rd, in Columbus, Ohio. It's GalaxyCon, Columbus, Ohio. So you come find me there.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Dave, why don't you tell them some stuff?
We have a Patreon, patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed, GAMEFULLY unemployed. We have exclusive podcasts on there, like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Star Trek The Next Futurama, Spiel Boys. Those are all for just $5 a month. You get access to all of those podcasts. Every Friday night, if you kick in a little more money, you can watch movies with us. We watch movies with our patrons every Friday night. It's a lot of fun. You should do that with us. Why not? Why don't you? Why don't you do that with us?
Why don't you do it? We might end up watching one or two of these movies.
Oh, yeah.
We also have a store. Head over to gamefullyunemployed.com where you can find a link to our Teespring store. We have all kinds of cool original artwork and designs. You can get on t-shirts, mugs, stickers, posters, all sorts of things. So check that out. Slap your little Mickey Mouse peepers onto those, I guess.
Sure, yeah. Check us out, Bob. I know you're listening,
do
Bob.
It, Bob. All right. Say goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye. Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, CORLEW, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our channel artwork is produced by Michael Vincent Bramley. You can find more of his artwork at instagram.com/mvbramleyart. Our episode artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.